prepared at all. Anyway, there's a number of us sitting there at a table and kind of handkerchief in hand. Melissa said, "Excuse me for crying," and I said, "You're all with the rest of us." We have been kind of walking with Melissa for the last few months. She was talking about her stay in London Hospital, and I'm going to tell a couple little stories. There were 3 sermons that I preached in Rev Jeff of Gorrie on a Sunday morning that Melissa helped me write. Each of those sermons were done during a visit to her hospital, and stories that she shared with me about. She said, "What are you preaching on Sunday?" And I told her, "Well, I've got some examples that I'd like to share with that." And one of them was with the homeless, and that story actually was shared the morning after she had her transplant. On the 30th of December, I had the privilege to be in London Hospital to see her on the way home from a family Christmas. And now you're going to get me crying. We shared that day. This was 2 days before she was airlifted. And I walked out of that room that day and said I would never see her alive again when we drove home. And then at about 2 o'clock, the morning before the transplant, there was a few telephone calls between Dawn and myself at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, "You better get some sleep because we're leaving at 7 o'clock the next morning." And Vicki and Dawn and I went down, along with a few others who were there the day of the transplant, and said, "We're going to stay till she gets back in her room," and we did. It was 2:15, and we left the next morning to come back. She has a strong faith. She's a survivor, as we've heard, in many ways over life. She used to be a neighbor across the street from me when she was a little girl. Kind of saw her grow up. And on behalf of parents and grandparents and very close friends, those especially here tonight, we're so proud of her, what she's accomplished, the young lady she has come to grown into and celebrate that special birthday. This month was, I'm going to tell them anyway, last month was her 25th birthday. They went down to
medieval times.
Medieval times for her birthday. And it was so great to see her tonight and how she's looking, how she's feeling. And like I say, from the 30th of December till now, it's amazing how she has improved with the help of the donor. I did happen to have the privilege of being in Toronto along with Shirley the day that the daughter and granddaughter of the donor were present to meet Melissa and had the privilege and talk about an emotional time. That was an emotional time for all of us when we learned about Sharon and her life. And the one thing I will say, if you ever want to give Melissa anything to have now, to represent not only Sharon but herself, just buy her a box of maraschino cherry chocolates. Those were the favorite of the donor and the favorite of Melissa. And so I'm going to call this quits at this time. Keep up the good work. We're all proud of you. And to the kinsmen, kinettes across Canada, the work that you do for cystic fibrosis and events like this, thank you. It's much appreciated. And hopefully in the future there will be more work known of what you do. I wasn't aware until tonight that you had that fundraiser for CF, even though I've known Debbie for years. She's never told me. Shame on you, Debbie. Thought I'd have to pick on somebody. So anyway, keep up the good work, and thank you to everybody tonight, and we're all behind you.